Hello, I'd like to begin today's video by paying my respects to this man, Felix Baumgartner. We lost Felix last week in a paragliding accident in Italy. He was far too young, just 56 years of age. Let me read a little from his bio here on the not always honest, but sometimes useful Wikipedia. Felix Baumgartner was an Austrian skydiver, extreme sportsman, and base jumper. He's widely known for jumping to Earth from a helium balloon in the so-called stratosphere on the 14th of October 2012 and landing in New Mexico, United States as part of the Red Bull Stratos project. By doing so, he set world records for skydiving, an estimated 39 kilometers or 24 miles up, reaching an estimated top speed of 1,357.64 kilometers per hour, or 843.6 miles per hour, or Mach 1.25. He became the first person to break the sound barrier relative to the surface without vehicular power on his descent. And of course, he's the guy that Neil deGrasse Tyson told you was 2 millimeters above this beach ball. Probably didn't feel like 2 millimeters to Felix at the time. In today's video, we're going to celebrate Felix by taking a good look at that moment he popped open the capsule door and revealed that the Earth below him is not in any way curved as it's supposed to be for the globe model that we're all told is true. Let's take a look. So the first thing to talk about here is basic geometry. If you take a slice through a sphere, you've got a perfect circle, and the Earth curves away, according to the globe, in accordance with the same geometry as a perfect circle. So you can see on the screen here, I've got a little balloon. We've got the Earth as a globe represented by this blue section, the Earth as a plane represented by this orange section here. And when you elevate the balloon in this direction, you're always directly above the highest point of the geometric shape below you if it's a sphere. So looking off in each direction, the higher you go, the further away you're going to see. So the horizon will be somewhere further away. However, as you can see, at this distance, it's significantly lower than the plane, because as you rise up, you have to look more and more down to see the horizon. That's just basic geometry. But on a plane, the visual is that the plane actually rises up and up as you rise, because you're seeing further along the plane. And according to the way perspective works, your eyes tend to perceive the plane close enough to eye level. So we're going to take a look now at the Stratos jump and make a decision about whether Felix opened the capsule on a globe or a level Earth. But before we go there, let's stop over to this channel on TikTok. Sean Burns is the name of the channel. He's got the Illuminati 330 comments, but we're still going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he does a very good job describing what we just discussed. Let's take a look.
I've made this 3D model a while ago, but I think it's best if I show it again and explain it better this time. This is the correct dimensions they give us for the Earth, and it's 12,742 kilometers across. I've done it full size in Blender, even though it can give bugs. It becomes a bit weird, but I wanted it to be accurate. Alright, so as we zoom in, I've made the Willis Tower, which is here on Lake Michigan. And when we go close to it, we'll go down to the ground level. I have put this horizon line here. Okay, so this is what reality does, is the horizon rises to eye level. So as we ascend up, you'll see the horizon stays right where it is, and we keep going up, horizon stays there. But you'll notice the Earth dropped down. With a physical curvature, you would have a physical horizon that drops down as you go up in altitude. And so if I turn this horizon line off, you can still see the Earth drops down. Put the horizon back on. This is where the horizon is in reality, but this is where it would be on a ball. And if you go up to, this is how high planes fly, 30,000 feet. That's how tall this marker is. And we sit on top of it. This is how it would look like from a plane. This is how it actually looks in reality. And this is how it should look if we lived on a ball, all the way down there. So as you ascend more, see the horizon keeps dropping down because you're on a physical ball.
I've left a link to Sean's channel in the description below, and you can go ahead and watch that entire video over there. But before we move on, we'll take a look at this next simulation, also sourced online. I got this one from Taboo Conspiracy. I like this because everything is laid out and detailed. Let's watch. So as you can see, the camera is maintaining right angle to the globe during this video. Like relative to the tangent point from which it first left. We're getting close to cruising altitude for most airlines. So you can see that's a significant drop even from 30,000 feet. So I thought we'd ride all the way up to 127,000 feet or so, which is the height that Felix Baumgartner was at when he did his Stratos jump. There. We'll now take this image over and we'll take a look at the comparison between when Felix entered his capsule and when he opened the door to leave his capsule. Alright, it was important to cover what kind of decline we should expect to see when we rise above a ball with a radius value of 3,959 miles. And as you could see earlier there, it is quite a significant drop. But in this video footage, we get really two incredible views. We get to see through the same camera as Felix enters the capsule, and then as he opens the door at full altitude. So we get to see both views. Let's begin first here.
Being lifted now on that lift up to the capsule, and then...
So as we can see, he's just entering the capsule here. This camera is mounted behind him, and we get to see that the horizon is right here in the middle of the doorway. As it would be pretty much expected to be, the camera seems to be level in the unit, and this door is pretty much central on the shot. So that's our first moment of this footage, and then our next one is up here, when the door opens for him to depart the capsule. And there it is. So we now have this second view taken from the same camera, just as the door opens and reveals the Earth outside. I'm going to take both of these shots, the entry and the exit, and align them up with the with the video we just watched at 127,000 feet, so we could see where a globe would be, but where the horizon actually is, and make the determination as to whether Felix stepped out over a level Earth or a insane global curved Earth. All right, let's take a look at some overlaid images now. This is the first screenshot, and it is taken from the modeled situation we just looked at. This is the horizon line up here on a level plane, and as you can see, far below is where we would be at 127 plus 1,000 feet above the surface of a globe. You can see curvature down below here. So I guess Neil deGrasse got that one wrong.
Etc.
Oh, okay. So if the Earth were actually this size, the International Space Station would be orbiting about a half an inch above the surface. And that dude who jumped out of a perfectly good balloon, what's his name? Felix Baumgartner. He would have been about 2 millimeters above the surface of this globe. That's his edge of space jump. Now, you know, I don't. It's fine. He wants to. I don't have a problem if he does it, but the honesty of it would greatly diminish what I think people thought he was actually doing. And not only that, they made sure to photograph him standing there with a really wide-angle lens, which curves horizontal lines. Right. So in the photo, you see this curvature of Earth's surface, and he said, "Wow, he's in space. Look at that." No, he's not. At that height, you don't see the curvature of the Earth if you are 2 millimeters above this beach ball. You just don't. That stuff is flat. That stuff is flat. That stuff is flat.
And let's now fade out this overlay and reveal this image as Felix enters the cabin of his balloon capsule. Now, this camera that we're looking at here is the same camera we're going to be viewing the horizon through when he gets out of the capsule at 127 plus 1,000 feet. I have two images here of him entering, just so we can see the horizon in the distance. Now, here is the picture when he opened the capsule door at altitude. Now let's fade the two out, one over the other. And we can see very little difference between the two altitudes, right around the same place. Yet, as we just talked about and went over in the earlier part of the video, we can see where the horizon should be on a level plane, but on a globe, it would be significantly lower with a camera set up that same way. You see, this camera is set up just like it was in the modeled footage that we just looked at a few moments ago. It's at 90 degrees to the point of tangency, if there were such a thing on a globe. So here we can clearly see that the horizon has risen up with the eye level of the observer, and that the significant drop necessary for explaining life on a globe does not exist. So thanks to Felix for revealing that, and may he rest in peace. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll talk to you again soon. Take care.